Hello and welcome to Learn English. My name is Manu and in this video for today, we'll be doing the future perfect continuous tense. And before moving further, I would like to suggest you that if you have not watched the previous videos into this series of tense, then you can click on the I button above. And in this playlist, I have put all the videos about tense, that is either past, present, or future tense. You can just click on the I button, watch the playlist, and you will be able to revise all the tense that we have done up till now. So moving further, let's see what is the future perfect continuous tense. The very first thing is that this tense is also called as future perfect progressive tense. This is something which I've told you earlier also, that the continuous form of a tense is also known as a progressive tense. So do keep this in mind because at times you might see the word progressive written in place of continuous. So don't get confused. Moving further, what is future perfect continuous? This is a tense which is used to describe an action that is going to continue up till a point in future. Whenever we are talking about an action, any activity or an action that is going to happen in future and it will also going to continue up till a certain point in future time, wherein we are telling a particular point that up till this time this activity is going to happen in future. That is the perfect continuous tense. Let's see one example for the same. It says, at 5 o'clock, I will have been waiting for 30 minutes. Now, the action over here is to wait. This is about a future action. The person is saying at 5 o'clock, I will have been waiting for 30 minutes. Now, there is this defined point in future. This 30 minutes is that particular defined time up till which he'll be waiting. So, this is the action over here is waiting, and he's along with that also telling that in the future, I'll be waiting there for 30 minutes. That is how we define or we use the perfect continuous tense. This is how you'll be using the future perfect continuous tense. One more thing that is important to remember about this perfect progressive tense is that when we describe an action in future perfect continuous, then we are projecting ourselves forward in time and looking back at the duration of that activity. Yes, because we are talking about an activity or an action that is going to happen in future. So for that activity, we are projecting ourselves, we are imagining ourselves, or we are just telling about ourselves into that future time. And we are also telling the duration of that activity, like I just told you. So that is one more important point which you need to remember for this tense. And this activity will have begun sometime in past. Whenever we are talking about the activity, it could have begun in past, present, or in future. The activity can begin any time. It could begin either in the past time or in the future time or in the present time. But it is expected to continue in the future. It is going to continue in the future time for a defined set of time like we discussed earlier. Let's see one more example. This example says at 5 o'clock I will have been waiting for 30 minutes. Now this example is also the same that I have used above, and this is again telling us that he will be waiting for 30 minutes at 5 o'clock. Now again a time duration is assigned over here. The one more example we have here is saying in November I will have been waiting at my company for 3 years. In November, I will have been working. Now the action over here is to work in a company. The person is saying in November, I will have been working at my company for 3 years. Now the action is working and this action has started already, and the person is telling about the future activity that in November he will have been working. The time duration of his working in the month of November would be for 3 years. That is how we project ourselves in future, and this is for a particular duration of time. So this is how we can use a future perfect continuous tense. Now let's see the structure for the future perfect continuous tense. That is, what would be the structure for this particular tense, or how we are going to write, what are the rules. For any form of positive tense, you will just use the will along with have. That is, the subject will be there. Along with that, we will use will have plus been will come, and the present participle form of the verb, that is ing form, right? If we are using travel, it will be ending with ing, that is traveling. So for a positive sentence, you just need to add been to it. like we were doing in the future perfect tense, then we were not adding been. But now we are talking about the continuous tense, that is perfect continuous tense. So you need to add been along with will have. Let's see one example. It says, I will have been traveling. Now, this is a simple tense which is a positive sentence of the future perfect continuous tense. The positive sentence is telling, I will have been traveling. This is a future projection and it is being used as to be project the future perfect continuous tense, and that is why you have used been along with I will have. Now for a negative sentence, if you have to write it in a negative sentence, then subject plus will not along with have plus been, and the verb will remain same. The only thing you have to add to a negative sentence is not for all the forms of tense. So the example is, I won't have been traveling. Now again, this is a negative sentence, so we have used not along with the action. Now for a question form, if there is a question involved, then you have to write will plus have, and the subject will come in center. Now you will be having the subject in center. As in the previous times I have also told you, for any form of question your subject will come in middle instead of the starting. So the example here is, will I have been traveling? Now this is a question form of future perfect continuous tense. Now, one most important thing to remember about this future perfect continuous tense is that in this tense you cannot use non-action verbs. Like I told you in one of the videos when we were doing the present tense, that what are stative verbs. Stative verbs do not use future perfect continuous tense. And I have explained the stative verbs in detail in that video. You can just go and watch that video in the playlist. And I told you at that time what are stative verbs. One more time I can remind you that stative verbs are also like static verb. Those verbs which do not denote an action are known as stative verbs, and for this progressive form of tense you cannot use them along with your sentence. That sentence would be grammatically incorrect. Like the verb here are to be, to seem, or to know. These are some of the examples which I have taken. You can check out more examples for stative verbs. Stative verbs will be all those verbs which do not have any kind of action involved, whereas it is not an active form of verb. So that is known as stative verb. And those kind of verbs cannot be used for future perfect continuous tense. Like in the example here, it says, I will have been reading 45 books by Christmas. Now, this sentence is grammatically incorrect. But why? Because when we are talking about read, it is an verb which is stative verb and it will not come in ing form, because we are that is not allowed with the future perfect continuous tense. That is an important point which you need to remember. So the correct form would be, I will have read 45 books by Christmas. That is the correct way to use a stative verb in the future continuous form. So this is one important point which you need to remember. So that's all for the future perfect continuous tense. You can attempt these questions and this will surely help you to grasp the concept in a better way. And I'll leave you the answer for these in the next video. These are some of the practice questions that we did in our last video, and these are the answers which I have put in for you. You can check out these answers. Just pause the video over here and check out the answers. If you have any doubts, please do leave them in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like this video, do like, share and subscribe, and do share it with your friends. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time with another video. Till then, goodbye and take care.